Hello everyone, welcome back. I have an interesting experience that I want to share with you guys. Over the last couple of days, I've been doing a lot of shooting deep in the woods, a lot of combat style drills, and this AR got very dirty and very hot. So I probably have shot about 600 rounds through it, and I knew the gun was dirty. I kind of just wanted to see how far I could push it. So the gun was dirty, and it was hot. All right, there was instances where I shot I put 6 magazines through it, not back to back. I wasn't trying to do that kind of an exercise, but I had shot 6 magazines through it. Then I did some other stuff, and then the next day, basically I shot another 6 magazines, and I had a jam. Okay, and I wasn't quite sure what happened. So I looked at it and I see this situation. Initially, I'm looking at it and I'm seeing that I have a round that's not feeding, and I really couldn't see. So, first thing I want to do is just pull out the magazine. Shit, magazine, there it goes. I finally got it out. I was having a hard time, especially when I was in the woods and I was trying to do this fast. I was having a hard time pulling this magazine out. So, here's one of the things to get that round out. So here's one of the things that that I have learned. Okay, these Lancer magazines are great magazines. They're like almost indestructible. I've seen videos of people, driving over these things with cars, dropping them on their feed lips from concrete. But these lips are a lot harder than these plastic ones on the Pmags. Same situation. I got a round stuck in the chamber. Right, a case stuck in the chamber. I'm gonna close it. Okay. So with the plastic ones, it comes out a lot easier, and the reason is because the plastic feed lips are a lot more flexible. And the first time that this happened, I was like, I'm like yanking on it, and it just had happened in such a way that I could not get this out. Let's do this one more time. Get that round out of it. All right, now I got a different type of a jam. Now I just created a cartridge over bolt override. So the way we're gonna unfuck this is we're gonna I'm gonna put my middle finger in there, push back on the bolt. There you go, and you push forward on the charging handle, and that unjams that. There you go. So I got that out. So it's kind of funny that I just created a different type of a jam with this exercise. Get that piece of shit out of there. There we go, got it out. So these are the type of problems that you don't have with an AK-47. Okay, where's that round? I did not see that round come out. Okay, so it's out. Okay, I still have that somewhere on the ground. Oh, there it is. I'm gonna use the same round, so I don't keep beating it up. So again, with the plastic ones. If you have a case stuck in your chamber, right, and you close a shitty jam like that, the plastic ones come out because they're more flexible. Okay, get that out. Right, I'm gonna take the same one now. I'm gonna put it in the Lancer. Well, I've actually pushed the bullet back, so that's no good. That's dangerous now. Let's get another one. Okay, so now we're gonna do the same thing with the Lancer. Okay, because remember these are harder. They're much harder feed lips, so they're not as flexible. I'm gonna send it in. Okay, so basically it's trying to feed into into the back of a case that's stuck in the chamber. Okay. It's a lot harder. There it goes. Got it. And when this happened to me in the woods, man, I was yanking on this thing. Just the way it happened, I could not get it out. So that's one of the things that you got to be aware of with the Lancer mags. I like them because they're indestructible. I've seen people run these over with cars, drop them on their feed lips, onto concrete. So I prefer these for the type of exercises that I do. But if you're going into a combat situation, be aware if you have this type of a jam, it's going to take you a little bit longer to rip the magazine out. The Pmags are going to come out a lot easier. Now let's talk about what happened to this gun. Like I said earlier, I've been running this hot for a couple of days. So it's a combination. It's a perfect storm. I'm using, I'm running a dirty gun, right? So, and the gun is hot. Okay, the gun's hot. and I was using the Lancer mags that had the these harder steel lips that was preventing from coming out. And what happened is I had the extractor basically broke on me. Okay, I can see it now. I can see that the extractor's broken, so that's why that case is not coming out of there. But the interesting thing is, because I was using the steel case, right? The other thing that became really obvious is when I was in the woods, in the bushes shooting, I couldn't tell because these have a dark color. I couldn't tell that I had a case stuck in the chamber. Now, normally, if I'm just shooting at the range, I can see it, because it's a different type of setting. But if I'm in a kneeling position, shooting behind the bushes, I had a hard time, and even right now, I'm having a hard time seeing that there's a case stuck in that chamber, as opposed to if it's brass. If it's brass, it's shiny. You can see it. You can tell that you got a round stuck in the chamber. So that's one of the things to be aware of if you're using steel case, in a real life and death type of situation. If it does get stuck in there, you're gonna have a much harder time seeing it than if it's brass. Now that said, yeah, I definitely plan to keep using steel case. I definitely plan to keep using these Lancers because they work well for the type of drills and exercises that I do. But in a, I would, definitely in a, life and death type of situation, I would want to be using brass so I can see it more easily and see what's going on in my chamber. And I'm not sure yet if I would actually switch over to the Pmags. There are some real benefits to the Lancers, in that you can, they're clear, you can see through it. I do have a broken extractor, so one way or another, this gun's out of the fight. So the problem is that by not being able to rip the magazine out fast, basically I was taking more time trying to get the magazine out, whereas if it came out easier, then I can get to the next step, which is basically trying to figure out what's wrong with the gun. And like I said, if I had brass, I probably would have been able to see a lot quicker that I had a round in the in the chamber. If you're using steel case, and you don't see it, basically you're going to try and put another magazine in there. You're going to get the same jam again, and then you're going to say, okay, wait, there's something else going on, which is exactly what happened to me when I was in the wood. I said, okay, second magazine, same jam, something else is going on. So then I took a closer look at it, and I realized that's not coming out, So then I took a look at my extractor, and I saw, okay, shit, my extractor's broken, okay? But the problem is that, not the problem, the issue is that by the magazine getting stuck in there and me having to spend more time trying to yank it out, it took me longer to move to the next phase of the diagnosis to figure out what's wrong with the gun. So that's just a real life training example of something that I learned today. Where it's kind of like a perfect storm. There's like three different things going on here that came together, to create a very interesting situation. I'm using steel cases, which are a lot harder to see in the chamber, especially if you're in the shaded area. The Lancers are a lot harder. The Lancers are a little harder to yank out because they're less flexible. And of course, like I said, I'm running the gun dirty and hot, which is probably the reason why that extractor. The chamber got dirtier and hot. That's probably what was making the cases stick a little bit more in the chamber. Extractor was having a harder time pulling them out until it finally broke. And that's how I ended up where I'm at. So, like I said, very interesting experience. Definitely, more than anything, I learned something about these Lancers and something that I need to be aware of, right? If you have a jam, it's harder to pull the magazines out. So, if you guys find this useful, give it a thumbs up, share it. If you're not a member of the channel, subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time.